Okay, everyone, we shopped where all your favorite big name designers go. I'm talking Joanna Gaines. We're talking Amber Interiors. Who else? Shay McGee, maybe. I don't know.
All of them.
Honestly, we got in way before all the cool kids came. Yeah, we did.
Okay, well, I think it might be because we're in Texas. So this has been a thing in Texas for a really long time. We're talking about Round Top, Texas. So today we are going to share insight on our trip to Round Top. We're going to share things, how much they were, what we almost bought, what we did buy, and where we stayed.
And I will say many people like our shop with me, but a lot of people also like our home tours. And today you're going to get a combo.
Yeah.
Because we're going to show off where we stayed. And it is so cute.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up my computer so we can see the footage. And remember, because we saw so many things, it would be literally impossible to do it. So it's going to kind of be a reaction to it. Because when I was looking at some of the stuff, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, so if you don't know, Round Top spans many, many cities. It's not just Round Top, Texas, but it is expanded to go, I would say probably 5 to 7 different cities, small towns, if you will, but yeah.
Yeah, and I'm curious, when Round Top isn't open, what is the world like for them? Like, well, whole world just goes there, but when, you know, the show's not going.
I think it's gaining more popularity because of the little Airbnbs that are there, and they do have some yummy food. So I think people are actually going when they're off season, and they do have vintage and antique stores open throughout the year.
Yeah. So let's start with the prices of items. So these aren't items that we necessarily were going to use, but I feel like having some prices gives you a gauge on what you're going for. Round Top has really nice, highly styled areas that are honestly great just to get vignette ideas, like styling shelves and tables and, you know, dressers, anything. Surface areas, you get great ideas for styling in Round Top.
Yes.
But then they have like junkyards and like fields where you literally just hunt, literally.
Yeah. So I'll give you a little pro tip. And back in the day, we learned this, that in the fields, sometimes you can find things that are for sale in town by even the same vendor, but they're marked up higher in town because it commands a pretty hefty price for those spaces in town.
Yeah.
So the prices are a little elevated, but if you go to the field, sometimes you'll find the same item.
Yeah, and the people that are in those warehouse spaces, they get to keep their stuff there all year round.
Right.
Whereas the people in the fields, they have to haul it. And so, anyways, that's a little like behind the scenes. You might just see something marked up in style that was just found in the fields. We actually bought one of those items.
Yes, we did.
I think it was worth it. They did the work. They get the money. Okay.
Absolutely.
So when I tell you we saw an assortment of items, we saw an assortment of items. But one thing that shocked me was the prices on taxidermy. Stuffed raccoon, almost $400. Stuffed bear,
thousands.
$10,000.
Yes.
Which the guy gave me a full lesson on the bear, that if I was to actually fly to Russia and hunt him.
Because it's a brown bear,
I don't know the details. People are either fans of taxidermy or not, but I just thought it was interesting. They had interesting taxidermy display, even an assortment of animals in a boat for taxidermy.
Very cool.
So another thing that was shocking on this trip was the price of art.
Art is expensive, and you know, collectors are willing to pay for it. And so these people source from all over the world, and some famous artists, right?
Yeah, so we found an original, and the man in this video is telling us that it was $4,000, but it was an original. It is a specific artist that people are on the hunt for. So,
and he's no longer with us, which makes the art even more expensive. Because it's a very old piece of art.
But we know nothing about it.
We're not we love art, but we're not art connoisseurs or collectors. But he turned it over and explained to us about the detail of the backing and the frame and all the things.
Yeah. So I think the thought on that is, if you are a collector, Round Top is a great place. If you're not, then maybe digging for art would be, because it was kind of discouraging to see a piece. We were looking for something like we really wanted something with a sheep in it, a lamb.
Just a scene in a meadow,
And
right?
I don't think we saw one under $1,000.
No, I picked up one that was like 8.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was like, maybe we move on from the sheep to cow.
No, cows are way more than sheep.
Cow, $1,100. So you just need to decide, okay, what are you going for? And maybe you just buy a print online, and then maybe you get into art when you hit the lottery. I don't know. Like, that's up to you what you do with your lottery money. Something we really wanted was a leather piece, like a leather chair. We loved the idea of like something a little vintagey. We found a French club chair. It was $550. I actually think that was a great price for
It was a great price. Some of the leather was outrageous, and some of it was priced really well. We actually found this in Paul Michael. And he has a lot of different vendors in there. It's not exclusive to Paul Michael, and that's a great place to not only shop but eat.
Yeah. Another thing, Mom wants to talk about food. She's
I said, can we talk about food? So on the fall trip, I'm going to make a list of all the fun places to eat for you guys.
Yes, I said we have to make sure we try all the food before we tell them about where to
I feel like we've tried most of the really yummy places.
Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about that was very pricey, but I want to save and spend my lottery money on is the greenhouses. We saw multiple. This particular one in Paul Michael is $8,000.
Yeah, totally worth it. I mean, well, look, here's the deal. They're expensive anyway.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get one that is like from like the French countryside, like a little European village or something somewhere, of course you're going to spend $8,000.
Another thing that we saw that I think would make a huge impact on kitchens was islands or, French farm tables. I saw low and high of those.
Yes. So you do have to understand, as the price with everything has increased, shipping has also increased. So our friends are French antique dealers, and they've had a number of increases on container shipment prices, and so we've seen those things go up through the years. And again, a lot of these items have gained so much popularity with all the designers coming. That's the other reason for the increases.
Demand.
Yes.
So that one was $8,100, but there were several. Like we said, the displays make us so happy. And I think one thing that you can do is you can look at a display, and if it's out of your budget, I mean, bless the people that came up with it. And if you can afford to buy their displays or their pieces, do it. We want to celebrate these entrepreneurs, these creators, and definitely worth it. But I don't have the budget for a cutting board in a frame, but I thought this was genius.
It's genius, and they're not just regular cutting boards. Obviously, they're like really old vintage cutting boards, but just in a big wall display. Oh my goodness,
So
glorious!
Yeah, I would love to recreate that type of feel in my dining room.
Yeah,
Should we do
so
that?
we
Let's
could do that. I
weekend.
think we could do that this weekend. Yeah, you could go to Michael's, and
Well, I was thinking
we're not going to get the exact look, but it'll be.
we're gonna get the exact look. Let's see what we can do. Another thing in Round Top that was so interesting this year is the live plants. In this particular store, there was a live olive tree.
Well, look, everybody puts glorious florals and plants on display in all their boutiques because it just brings life. And so this is a really fun little store. These gals are from Europe that run it, and they actually live in Dallas though, and so those were so cute.
Oh, you're talking about the bulb containers.
The bulb containers.
Oh,
yeah.
you jumped. Yeah, so I got 3 bulb containers, and they had I cannot remember this flower, but I'll pop it up, and it bloomed within a couple of days of bringing it home.
We know that we have a lot of gardener friends out there who are following us who are like mortified when they hear us talk about plants, put plants in the ground, like all the things. But we are trying, y'all, and we are taking your tips.
Oh my gosh. So half of y'all in the last video that we did was our landscaping update / outdoor inspiration, and half of y'all literally spent really such thoughtful time and words giving me tips, and I have applied them. My hydrangeas look great. I moved the azaleas out of the buckets. I bought Mom a shovel.
Yes, thank you.
But some other people are like so angry. It's okay, guys. We're all different and we're all learning at different paces.
Yes, you gotta have grace for us.
Yeah, I'm sure there's things that I know that you don't know. And I'll share my wealth of information and you share yours. So it's just really funny people's different reactions. But seriously,
well, I think that when people have a visceral reaction to something, that just means they're engaged, even if they're very angry.
Anyway.
And here's something. This is a pro tip. Seriously, y'all, look at me. Look. Just turn us off. If it's bad, if we've done bad, just turn us off.
No, I like the constructive criticism, but if we're not for everybody. You know, there's channels that some people like, you know, no talking at all, and they only want music.
That's okay.
That's not us.
No,
we love to talk.
Yeah, but I will say too, though, I have favorite channels and I follow them, and then sometimes I'll turn on a video and I'll be like, what are they doing? And then I'll just wait for the next one.
Yeah. What's your favorite YouTube channel?
Oh gosh, I thought y'all, if you saw my YouTube list, you would just be like, what is wrong with that woman? Because it's so diverse. Like, I can't even tell you how many things I watch.
But, okay, tangent done. But we love your comments. So leave your feedback and your reactions to the prices and what we bought and what we almost bought. I would love to hear, and I really do appreciate feedback, especially.
Also, there is a mute button if you don't hear us talk. I'm just saying, these are tips that I use, y'all. I really do. I use them on my YouTubes.
Okay.
Okay.
I've noticed that the French antiques were the highest.
Yeah.
But I also noticed they were the largest.
So there's an entire space called Marburg, and this is all the French antique dealers. They come from all over. They actually come from France, some of them. Some of them are from here, but we love our French antiques. And sometimes it's good if you can just like have some idea of what you want. Maybe it's, you know, a French farm table, or even I bought you a sofa table that you can use as a farm table, and just save your pennies. Like, you know, we do that. We'll save and save and save until we can splurge.
Yeah, Mom has a big hutch in the dining room. I have it's not a sofa table, it's kind of like an entry piece that expands. Both of those are from France. They're antiques from dealers that we met in Round Top. Anyways, the French antiques are hard too, though, if you don't have a large house, because some of them are large. Like, I was shocked by some of the pieces. French people back in the day must have been extravagant.
Yes, but the farm tables are narrow, so if you have a long, narrow space, that's true. That's interesting. So some of the display pieces, like if I was opening a retail store, I would have really liked this piece. It was from Italy, and it was $16,000. Was that at Paul Michael?
Yeah, it was at Paul Michael as well. Okay, some of the newer pieces, manufactured pieces, were, to me, not worth it in Round Top.
Yeah.
So like these little stools, $800 per stool.
Maybe you go to Home Goods, because honestly, I think I've seen similar pieces there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into what we almost bought.
Okay.
So one of the things that I regret not buying.
Yes.
Can you guess what it is?
The wall shelf.
No, but I do. We'll go there.
Oh, sorry.
So this was not actually for a design project. That was for my dining room. I really liked the idea of a display rack for dishes, and I saw it was $750. Really not a bad price because it's huge. And I wouldn't have to paint it or update it at all. I would just hang it on the wall and then collect dishes. I love the idea of having a consolidated collection in one area, but I could also change it out seasonally.
And you could build it, but this was old and worn and
Yeah.
beautiful and unique. And so She looked at it, she walked away, she
So-
looked at it, and she walked away.
So, if it is still there, I have marked it. If it is still there in the fall, I'm going to take that as my sign to buy. And I'm saving until then. So basically, I have 4 months to save $750, and I make money on this YouTube channel. All you have to do is watch the video. So if you watch my videos, then maybe I can earn it. But we will let you know.
Hey, let's do a campaign. Help Shelby shop in Round Top.
Yes. Okay, so the next thing is definitely the rug ottoman. The rugs in Round Top, so good. Honestly, we found some that were really good prices. Turkish rugs, vintage rugs. But this rug upholstered ottoman, it was $3,000.
Wow, I didn't know. I was like telling Tracy to buy that.
It felt worth it. Except for I was imagining this cabin that we're designing is for fishermen. And I'm just imagining they're
bass tournament fishermen that come in off of a boat with muddy shoes.
And so I was just imagining, and I thought, wow.
No, maybe
that's
not
going to hold up.
Right.
So the next thing was actually my favorite thing. And can you guess it?
I can't guess.
Yes,
I don't even know.
The chairs.
Yes, y'all. Oh my goodness. What is her name?
Indian Pink is her Instagram
Indian
handle.
Pink. You guys, when we walked in, I was like, I grabbed Tracy. I'm like, there's your chairs, because she had been looking for her cottage that is behind the cabin to do something more amber interiors-ish, if you will. And guess what, you guys? That's where Amber gets some of her stuff.
Yeah, so we walked in and we're like, this feels like Amber Interior shops here. And then the gal who runs the shop, she said, yeah, Amber Lewis buys her fabric here. And I was like, of course she does.
Yeah.
So the chairs were a little out of budget for what we have for the cottage. If it was for the main space, so there's the main home and then there's a little cottage right outside. And so we're trying to be really cost effective in that space. We did buy a sample of the fabric so that maybe if we find some chairs, we can recover them. And that was just a savvy way that we might be able to do that.
But how much were the chairs? Do you remember?
$1,600 each.
Okay, but honestly, these were very quality, because I did talk to him about the actual chair.
Yeah.
And then their textiles are just, I mean, they're dreamy.
And the fabric is from a vintage, she found vintage fabric and she's recreated it.
She's recreated
and she did
vintage textiles.
She did tell us that they're also going to be creating a outdoor version, so that would be dreamy.
Yes, and let me tell you, I couldn't get out of there without buying something. So
you can sit down.
I bought a beautiful pillow, and the pillow is plum and purple and pink, because I'm doing the guest room upstairs in plums, and so I had to do it. It's just,
she can't wait. She
I've got to show y'all. Okay, look at this pillow. You guys, look at this pillow.
Mom's a pillow girl. Okay, put your pillow back. The next thing Mom wanted was giant clams.
Yeah, I mean, to go with my giant jugs. And so I think it would be so fun. You guys know I love all things coastal. So I just think it would be so fun to have a real giant clam. And they do sell faux giant clams. Clams. But you can put Topo Chicos in there and serve them.
She was thinking of like
hosting.
Yeah, I mean,
it
would be a great table centerpiece.
What about putting clams on the half shell in the clam?
Anyways, Mom, every time she saw a piece of coral, a seashell, anything coastal, she definitely...
I did buy some.
She'd bought some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so what we bought. We were primarily shopping for this cabin, but open to finding anything. And the first thing that we bought that was actually kind of surprising was a giant wooden sign.
A giant wooden sign. And it has a fishing saying on it. It was perfect. It was a great price.
Well, no. I felt like it was kind of high, but it's huge and it's going to make a huge impact, and it is vintage. It was funny because the guy,
Was it $600?
I think it was $7, and he gave her a little bit of a
Yeah,
discount.
we got a discount.
So, but I mean, it's huge. It's going to be a huge statement in the upstairs, which you can see from the downstairs. And I think the color on the wood is going to add a contrast, but with the other styling, it's going to be really elevated.
Yeah.
But
And you can negotiate prices. That's something we should let you know. You can negotiate there. Some people are not negotiable, and others will negotiate.
yeah, so she got it, and she was negotiating the price. He was like, well, it's double-sided, but the other side of the sign is like just almost completely chipped off. Because it's true, it's an antique. And so, anyways, we also got a little fishing,
A basket.
like
A tackle basket purse.
Not a we got a thing that's used for fishers, we're sure. Okay, we also got a leather sofa.
Okay, so I kind of had to talk Tracy into this one, but when we were on our way out, we stopped to finish a purchase of a commercial project, and we saw this leather couch, and I was like, is that Ralph Lauren? And she was like, yes. I was like, how much do you want for it? And she wanted like $2,500.
And it was perfectly worn. You know?
It was perfectly worn. It didn't have any like major flaw. It did have one little scratch in the front, but we can probably put some oil on that. But it was just so glorious. And so I called Tracy out of the car, and I was like, this is it. This is our leather piece that we were looking for. And we did negotiate the price and got it down. I think she would have went lower, but
she bought it from the fields the day before.
She bought it from the fields. She probably didn't spend $300 on it, and we had to buy it.
But it's going to make the look. I want when you walk into the cabin, you to feel like we designed it back in the day, but did it so perfect that it's timeless to today.
And we did buy pillows to go along with it that were made out of rugs at the rug store. Yeah. And they're super cool.
Yeah, that was a different rug store, but a rug store. And so that's going to totally create the look. It was funny because when we were pulling out, so we paid the lady, we pulled out, and I got a video clip of two ladies sitting on it and asking questions about buying it.
So Tracy was like, can we just go and think about it? I said, it will be gone. And sure enough, 30 seconds, it would have been gone. Yeah. So sometimes you do have to pull the trigger.
Yeah. We got a table, a dining room table and a bench. So we wanted something really clean, big, but we love that this one's handmade.
Yeah, so it came from the Amish community, and he sources all of his furniture from an Amish builder, and you can custom order, but this was the perfect size table.
Mm-hmm. So lastly, I want to talk about where we stayed.
My goodness.
So we booked last minute. This was like a very spontaneous trip.
Yes. So I got on thinking we were going to have to drive an hour. I mean, literally, I have done that before. I've stayed in like Austin and driven in because it was last minute. And so really you have to book a year at least in advance. But there was this wonderful little cottage left, and I booked it. And the gal who is a designer who owns it, she's so kind, and we just absolutely adored it. But it's not just about the look of the place. It was also that she had just luxurious linens, the mattresses. You know, it's so important when you're going to have that kind of a little place for people, for guests to come, especially girls, that it's comfy. And it was just the most comfortable and sweet, quaint little place.
Yeah. And I think what I loved about it is that she had updated features with vintage inspired updated features, like the appliances, the fridge, the microwave, the oven. They were so cute, but like, you know, they're modern day appliances. And I mean, a pink fridge.
Yeah. Who doesn't want a pink fridge? It's a Smeg, right?
No, I think it was it wasn't a Smeg.
Something like it. But also, we didn't get a picture of the bathroom, I don't think, but she had
I did.
Pink tile in the shower.
City chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
City chill. It was just, everything was so thoughtfully done.
Yeah.
And so cozy and so comfy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit of a drive, but like
15 minutes.
yeah, I was going to say 20. So
Yeah.
you're not right in town, but we probably should book our fall trip before we publish this.
We should. But I will also say, though, that 15-minute trip, there was still shopping.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't
There
go.
was an antique store right next
door. Yeah. So there was, we didn't go outside of the Round Top shopping area. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you can go quite a distance and still have
Shopping
a lot
for
of
days.
fun. Yeah, shopping for days. And especially when you get out of the main areas, you can get free from the crowds.
Yeah. Close this out, Mom.
All right. Like and subscribe, share this with your friends, and hey, maybe we'll see you. We've seen some of our friends last time at Round Top, we got to meet a lot of people. So even though it's a big place with tons of people, it is a lot of fun.
Yes.
So
Okay.
we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Next, we're sharing all the mistakes to avoid when building a new build, and we're doing this while sharing the Park Place project that we're currently working on. You'll see it framed with the renderings and all the tips to make this easy. These tips will be great even if you're renovating. See you then.